Hey everybody, Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good on this Saturday night, filling in for Mr. Andy Weingarten. It's welcome to this latest edition here of Storm Talk. Were you expecting snow talk? Not yet. It is Storm Talk. We have storms that are in the forecast, although there has been a buzz about the chance for some snowflakes, and I'll explain why that is in just a few moments. It does bring up an interesting point that I do want to touch base on. If you haven't heard by now, I'm going to issue my winter thoughts coming up Friday night, Halloween night, on the blog on wave3.com. I'm still working on it. I'll have it done, though, by Friday night. After that point, though, all the blog posts from here on out will be titled Snow Talk. And that is just because of the season. We can start to have snowfall as early November all the way through March in Kentuckiana. So I'm going to keep the title the same. Unless it's an extraordinary event, then I'll change the title. But overall, it'll be Snow Talk every day. And it doesn't mean that snow is in the forecast every time you see that heading. What Snow Talk will comprise of is for winter lovers, snow lovers like myself. It'll compose of the latest snowfall depth across the lower 48. We'll give the averages to date for Louisville and how much we've had so far at that point and kind of compare how the season's going. And I'll give the outlook for the next 14 days from that point. What chances are there? Is it just flurries? Is there a chance for a rain or snow system or even a snowstorm potentially showing up in the next 14 days? You all know as well as I do, that's very hard to predict 14 days out. So you got to take it with a slight sense of entertainment when it comes to this. It's mainly for snow lovers. We can pick out the chances for snow, certainly. We can pick out strong areas of low pressure, but to determine specifics on storms far out is a huge challenge. So these are going to be very vague posts on the longer term. The shorter events, though, will be handled in much more detail. The reason why I do this, well, I started this when I first came to Wave, but I grew up in Kentucky. I know a lot of you say, well, if you like snow so much, Brian, you always see that bots theme on Facebook all the time. Bots, bring on the snow. The reason for that is that snow in Kentucky is a much different experience than snow in, say, Michigan. It's more exciting here. There's more of a build-up. People get excited about it. Yeah, I know snow can be dangerous. Ice can be dangerous. So can sunny days. We have more accidents in town sometimes due to sunset and sunrise when people are blinded by the light and can't see the car in front of them when it comes to brake lights. So weather almost any day can be dangerous, all types. But it can be fun too. And I'm trying to focus on the lighter side of things, and that is the impact. The snow lovers love the idea there could be a snowfall, and so do the kids. They love it as well. And a lot of people don't like it when I post because they think it's a hype machine issue, or they get upset that I'm trying to scare everybody into snow or getting bread and milk, which I'm not sure why it's bread and milk to begin with, and I really don't think people do that anymore. I think people will get Pop-Tarts or even Twix. I digress. Nevertheless, it's fun to me, it's exciting to me, and that's where I get a chance to vent, is on the blog and to talk about what I'm excited about. So I hope for those of you who love snow, you continue to follow my blog post. If you don't, well, go easy on me. I'll leave it at that. All right, but we do have some snowflakes not far from us to talk about. I'm going to get into that in a second. First off, let me cover what's happening in the short term, and that would be nice weather. It's beautiful out, really. I mean, it's warm out, upper 60s at this hour, windy outside. Also, it's gusts 22 miles per hour, but that wind direction still out of the south. So we still have the influence of a southerly flow keeping us warm tonight, but the wind direction does shift northerly, not too far away from us, and that will allow for a cooler pattern towards sunrise in the morning, but it really isn't going to do a whole lot to our weather for Sunday. Maybe a couple degrees cooler, and to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if our temperature ends up being the exact same as today. We hit 77 today. We very well could get close to that again tomorrow. The models take us into the 50-degree range here in the city of Louisville early in the day, but Sunday afternoon, it's going to be nice. The models may be too cool on this. They're going with upper 60s, low 70s. I think 75 is reachable here in Louisville, and outlying areas could be cooler, but I really don't see a whole lot of difference from today for the outlook for on Sunday. Now, it is a different story on Monday. Monday, it's a south wind, and we're forecasting a high temperature in Louisville of actually 84. The models still think are too cool on this idea. So I'm going to raise the numbers up into the low to mid-80s for southern Indiana and central Kentucky, which would put us, especially in Louisville, at record territory. The record is 84. It could be matched or broken on Monday. Doesn't last long because there comes another cold front. This one, though, is not going to have a whole lot of moisture to work with. And yeah, it is warm ahead of it, but we don't have a lot of moisture. And if you don't have the moisture available in all layers of the atmosphere, you really get a mediocre event when it comes to showers and thunderstorms. But there's enough that we could see some showers and rumbles of thunder early Tuesday morning that could regenerate in the afternoon. The gap where they fall apart and then regenerate, the gap between the two areas could end up being right over Louisville. So there's a chance some of us may not get a drop out of this front. I'm going to keep the rain chances high, 60%, because the coverage still looks impressive. But as far as rain amounts, don't bet on a lot out of this front. It's the next one that's catching all the attention on social media. And this one is interesting because the models are struggling with the pattern here, because we have some tropical influence from Anna. That was the issue that Hawaii was worried about at one point about a week and a half ago. That energy is taking itself over Canada and then dropping itself deep to the south, almost taking a U-turn in a way, heading toward areas of West Virginia. The question we have to answer, is it going to be that sharp of a drive into the United States? Or is it going to be more gradual, kind of just skim the area and then head out to sea? Or could it be like the models are showing, a sharp dig and then out to sea, which actually forms a big nor'easter for the big cities? And some of the models hint at that. That is possible. The trend today has been to do more of the digging action, and that is certainly the trend we've taken the 7-day forecast. But I have to caution you folks, when it comes to tropical influences and really the models going to handle these scenarios, they really don't lock in until the very last minute sometimes. So this is going to flip a few days back and forth. But right now I've got highs in the 40s for at least one day next weekend. But if this dig is more dramatic than shown, and this low really deepens here off the Carolina coast, we may have to go cooler than that. So we'll keep an eye on the trends. Just keep in mind this is the scenario we're facing. It's not exactly an Arctic blast that would come in from the west and the plains and head our way. This one's coming from an opposite direction here in a way. It's coming from the north and northeast and then digs into our area. So it's going to be an interesting setup here as we into Halloween and into the weekend. It will influence Halloween in the sense it will be chilly and windy. So keep that in mind when it comes to costumes. And the weekend certainly looks chilly. In fact, if we clear out some point over the weekend, this cold core has the potential to give us a hard freeze, especially Saturday night. Now, when it comes to snowfall, it's all betting on the idea this low will dig and become a deep coastal low and then eventually a nor'easter. If that happens, it's going to be a substantial snow event for the higher elevations of the East Coast. The lower layers of the atmosphere are going to be warm enough that a lot of this will melt. So even for that area, it's going to be a wet snow. Shouldn't be too much of an impact for that area as the way it's looking now for the higher elevations. It wouldn't surprise me, though, that if the low can get configured just right, and the European shows us more than really any of them, if the low can get configured just right, though, to our east, we could get some lake enhancement of snow, and it could form a snow band that may try to stretch itself off Lake Michigan that could extend down into southeast Indiana into the bluegrass area of Kentucky. So that's why I have a chance for maybe a snow flurry. I wouldn't rule that out. Areas east of Louisville as we head into Saturday. But it's still a very small chance. In fact, I added a 20% at 6 o'clock. I may think that's too high. I may take it back down to 10. And just kind of keep an eye on it. And I'll let you know how it trend things. But this is a minor system. But it is going to get a lot of talk because the first ones always do here in Kentuckiana. After that, though, we do warm up, just FYI, before a bigger storm impacts us the first week of November. All right, so here it is in the breakdown. Beautiful weather on Sunday. Record potential on Monday. Showers. Maybe some thunderstorms on Tuesday. Quiet Wednesday and Thursday. Halloween, though, becomes active with the front moving through. Not a lot of moisture with that coming in at the angle it is, so it doesn't look like it's going to rain for Halloween, but it could be windy and chilly. And again, there's that flurry chance off to the east. Minor overall. All right, I've talked for 8 minutes, but it's been a while since I've done a video blog, so I wanted to vent quite a few things to you guys here tonight. So I hope you're having a great weekend. Enjoy the fall color. It's going to be beautiful the next couple of days, and I'll be back here again tomorrow with an update on how things are looking for the chance for a snowflake 2014.